Okay guys, so today this is gonna be the first workout that we're gonna do with the tubing, right? And what we're gonna do today is your lats, which is the back muscles that give you that V taper, and your biceps. So again, these are pulling muscles of the body, the upper body. And so we're gonna step right into that. What I wanna do is just give you a variety of different things that you can do to work those muscle groups with the tubing, right? And what you'll see is that these are very basic movements that you can do with dumbbells and you can do with kettlebells. It's just that the tubing is a different modality that adds resistance, right? And we're trying to make this simple for you at home where you don't have to go and buy dumbbells if you don't want to, okay? So you'll notice that I already have these back here. The bands are already set up. What I'll do is I'll just I'll lift this up just to show you guys, right? So again, there's the top of the door frame, right? I got my loop in there, the grommets all the way in there. Again, notice it's on the hinge side of the door. I got it up nice and high. So again, I know that you're not gonna have a door as high as mine, but you can still do this at home, okay? So I'll show you a couple different ways. So the first thing we're gonna do is what's called a lat pull down. It's like a pull up. The only difference is that you're pulling the resistance down to your body instead of you pulling your body up to the bar, yeah? So the first thing we can do is holding on to our bands. So here I'm just gonna come all the way down to the floor. I got my back right against the frame so my back stays nice and straight. And wherever you wanna put your feet is fine. You wanna cross them, it doesn't matter, right? Spine nice and straight, and I have these up high enough so that I'm actually getting a stretch through my lats right now, yeah? Chest up, drawing my lower stomach in, and then from here I'm gonna pull my shoulders down first. You wanna pull the shoulders down, and then pull the band down. Coming all the way down, exhale on the way up, pull the shoulders down, inhale, exhale on the way up. Now I know a lot of you, if you work out, you're gonna go, hey, you're breathing wrong. You should be exhaling as you pull on exertion. However, with pull-ups, when your hand is in this position, you should actually, physiologically, you're designed to be inhaling. So shoulders down, inhale and pull, and then exhale. Now when we switch our grip, and we turn our hands this way, now this is where, because of how we've changed the angle of this is when we exhale. So from here, shoulders down, exhale and pull, inhale on the way up. Shoulders down first, exhale and pull down, and then all the way back up. So the difference in general is we're still using lat muscles, but when we bring the arms in, we're using more bicep, and we're actually working more of the lat as it wraps around the rib cage. When we're in this position doing a pull down, just like a pull up, we're working the width, that V taper of the back. Okay? So those are two exercises. Now this is with my back straight against the wall. You can also swing your body around to change it slightly, and that'll also help you if you have a shorter door frame because it'll allow you to be out. So I'm just going to hold on to these. I'm just going to swing myself out, make sure I stay in frame. And now again, depending on your hamstring flexibility, if you're tight in your hamstrings, you're probably going to have to bend your knees quite a bit, okay? From here, back nice and straight, and what I want to do is I want to lean forward so that I bring my arms and my back from my tailbone, basically from my tailbone all the way straight up. I want to stay in the same angle as that band. So if I'm like this, my body's kind of coming down and then it's on this V right here. I want to try and get this from my hips in line. So if I need to, I could, if you're tight in your hamstrings, you can cross your legs and lean forward. We're just trying to get that direction angle of pull. And now exhale, pull the shoulders down, or excuse me, that's an inhale. Exhale on the way up. Inhale, pulling down, exhale on the way up. And then again, you can switch them, turn the wrists in, elbows in, and now it's shoulders down, exhale, and inhale. You can certainly lean forward on this also. Shoulders down, exhale, bring it all the way up. And if you want now, what I do with a lot of clients, just so that we can get a lot done, is actually have you lean back. So I'm going to lean back, make sure I stay in frame here. And now just by changing the angle, notice the angle of my arms out of my shoulder now. So before they were straight up and down, and now I lean back. So now the angle of my arm is straight in front of my body. It changes it completely. Keep my chest up. Exhale and pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull the shoulders back as you pull back. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Inhale, release. So this is actually a row when I get the arms in this position, 90 degrees out front. And that's actually going to work what we call more of the middle, the thickness of the muscle towards the middle of the back, whereas the pull down was working that V taper. So you need to do all of these because it hits the lats in a different way. Okay? And then from here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to bring my bench in just so that I can get up top here and move this out. So again, remember we talked about how easy this is to move this stuff around, right? So here I am, I'll keep my balance. And I'm guessing a little bit, but I think that's about right. Yep. And I'll get this out of the way. And now what we can do is, am I in frame? Hey guys. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to step back. And I should really raise my camera up. I know my head's like out of frame. So hold on, let me take care of that because that's going to drive me crazy. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let me open this up a little bit. Voila. That should do it right there. Let's see. Yes, brilliant. Okay. Thanks for hanging. So, again, I'm going to make sure that they're equally spaced here, so I'm right in the middle. And now, just like we were doing that row where I was leaning back, we can do a row where I want the height of that grommet and cable and tubing. I want it to be roughly the same height as my arm when I'm bent at 90 degrees. I want it to roughly be there. Okay? So from here, I step back, put some tension in my cable. I know I'm almost out of frame. I'll back in a little bit. So from here, chest up. I open my feet up, bend my knees a little bit, and I can either do just a standing row, exhale, inhale. And as I'm doing this, I'm drawing my shoulder blades together. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Or I can make this a compound movement where I'm working some legs at the same time, and this is a favorite one of mine, is what I call a cable squat row. So from here, I'm still doing that row, but I'm also going to add a squat in there at the same time. So from here, I'm going to squat down, and as I stand up, I'm rowing. Squat down, stand up and row. Squat down, stand up and row. Okay? Now, what you can do, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to get a lighter band, and we're going to do a row with our arms in abduction. So this is really good for the rotator cuffs. And because it's set here, I just want to show it for now, even though it's more of a shoulder exercise. So from here, I set this at my shoulder height. And from here, I can either do it as a squat row or just standing. So my arms stay directly in line with the level. And all I'm going to do is inhale and squeeze my shoulders back. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze my shoulders back. Exhale. I can do it as a squat row. Inhale, squeeze my shoulders back. Squat down. The whole goal is when you pull back, your wrist stays straight, your elbow stays straight, and it's roughly the height of your shoulder. So you shouldn't do that. There should be no bend, no dropping. And when you do these, you want to make sure that your shoulders stay down. So when you pull, the shoulder stays down. Elbow same height. We'll say tabletop. Wrist stays straight. Inhale, exhale. and that helps to stabilize and strengthen the external rotators of the shoulder. Really important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this down. I'm actually going to take it down a little lower. And what I want to show you now is these are actually therapy exercises. I'm going to lower this down, guys. Stick with me, stick with me. Let me see. I think that's going to work. Okay, so we're going to take a stability ball. This is roughly a 55 centimeter stability ball. It just depends on your height. So we do these a lot with swimmers because it mimics a swimming position. So what I'll do is I come out on that ball. I got my feet behind me, spread apart. My knees are basically locked out. You're going to use a pretty light band for this. Keep your posture nice and tall. And so there's two different movements. These are basically all for your lats. So we're going to pull straight down into the ball, wrap around to my hips, and then bring my arms straight out in front of me. Down, around, out. Keep my chest up, around, out. This is all lats. That's all lats. This is all lats. And this is lats resisting. So in swimming, this is the butterfly. Down, around, and then it would come up out of the water, and then back down, around, and up out of the water. Yeah? And then you reverse it, and we go out, around, and up. Out, around, and up. Out to my hips, around the ball, bring it up. Out, around, and up. And this will really open up and really burn out these lats, which is really nice. And then another thing we're going to do is lowering this down and then shutting the door. Is now you can sit and you can also do that row that we talked about. So from here now I'm sitting, back up so I have tension, chest up, wherever you want to put your legs is fine. Chest up, pull the shoulders down, squeeze the shoulders back, and release. Exhale and inhale. Exhale, keeping my posture, and inhale. So you could use more tension, certainly. I'm just showing you how to do this. So if you need more tension, you add more tension, get a thicker band, etc. Okay? So that's quite a bit right there. And then let me show you a couple more things, and then we'll move on to biceps. So I know I'm out of frame right now. Just stay right there. I'll move the camera in a second. All right, so let me bring this up. You guys are being very patient. Thank you. Okay, so notice I put it back up top again, yeah? It's up high. And the last one I'll show you for this, it's actually shoulder extension. So much like we were just doing with those swimming positions on the ball, we can do this standing. This is classically what we call a finishing move. It really burns out the muscle, the lat. So standing here, I lean over, get a little tension in that, and then I'm going to inhale and pull straight down and pull my arms back. Exhale as I come forward. Inhale, squeeze it all the way back. Exhale, inhale, squeeze it all the way back. So you're going to get a lot of lat and you're going to get a lot of tricep with that. All right, very good. So let's move on to biceps, and I'll show you a whole bunch of things you can do for biceps. So I'm going to bring this down here. The tubing's getting in the way. So for those of you possibly that might be guessing, most of you probably know this, your bicep is the top of your arm, the front of your arm. Tricep is the back. Bicep meaning two, there's two heads. There's the short head and the long head. Tricep has 3 different heads to it. That's why it's bicep and tricep. Okay? So from here, we can just come out shoulder height and do a static bicep curl. So from here, I try to keep my elbow the same height as my shoulder and not drop it. And I'm just going to pull straight up and then back. Straight up. That's your exhale. This is your inhale. You're always focusing on your posture. Try not to let your elbows start dropping like this. Keep them level. Straight out and over and back. So that's a bicep curl. So then you say, well, how many different ways can you do a bicep curl, right? So you can certainly put them down low. And you can stick it in the door and do it down there. And you're just changing the angle of pull. So you would step away, make sure these are correct. Yeah, don't have it like this. All the way up and back. All the way up and back. That's your exhale. Keep your chest up, shoulders back. Don't end up like this, yeah? And then if you don't have this, or you don't want to do that, pop that out. And a lot of times you can do a lot of these things just standing on them. So you can't see this, but all I'm going to do is put it on the floor and stand on it with both feet. I'm finding the middle. And now just by standing on it, I have that tension. So now I can just do a standing bicep curl. So there's a couple different things about bicep curls as far as your wrist position. So what I want you to do is, you have two different positions that you can do. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what's going on. Notice where my hand is positioned. We call this your carrying grip, like you're carrying luggage or a suitcase, yeah? So the hands are at your side. So chest up, shoulders back. As you bring it forward, you're immediately going to start turning your hands so your palm is facing up. And that should happen before you get to 90 degrees. So as soon as your hands clear your legs, you should be turning that. Turn them, curl it all the way up. Now notice that my elbow is straight, pretty much straight up and down. It's not coming forward. You want to try and keep your upper arm basically straight up and down. And just let the lower arm, the forearm, do the work. That's what this muscle is doing, is pulling the forearm up. However, if you do this and then do this extra little bit right here is not your bicep, it's your shoulder. So now it's just your shoulder doing this. So we want that upper arm to stay straight up and down, or maybe just a little bit forward, but don't start moving it in the shoulder socket, Okay? And then on the way down, you keep your hand facing up until you hit 90 degrees, and then you start turning it to bring it back in. So really the turn up and down happens in this first segment right here. It turns, and then on the way back, it turns back in. So I'm going to turn this way now so you can see this. So here we are again, chest up, shoulders back, really nice posture, drawing my stomach in, slight bend in my knees. Hands are at my carrying grip on my side. As I come forward, I turn them. I bring them straight up. I'm keeping my arms back so that my elbows aren't coming forward. Yeah, so that means there's tension in my bicep the whole time. And then as I come down, right after I hit 90 degrees, I'm going to start turning my hands in. So it's exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now, you can also do a bicep curl where you just keep your arms and hands in what we call a supinated position. So that means the hands are turned open. This is just like if you were going to do a bar curl. If you had a barbell, that's as far as it would go on your leg. Same exact thing. You just keep it in this position now. You curl it straight up and straight down. So you're not turning the hand in to a carrying grip anymore. So this just hits the bicep heads at a different angle, and you should do both. So both of these that I was doing so far, the hands are right at my side. Now you can also open it up and bring them out to the side. And again, this will change how you're hitting those bicep heads, right? So it's a different angle, and you should change that variety to this wider position. And you can either keep your hands open, or you can tuck them back in and turn them out. Completely up to you. It's good to have that variety. And then the final curl for biceps is what we call a hammer curl. So think about if you're swinging a hammer. So the handle of the hammer is like this. Your hands stay just like this. You're curling up and down. Curling up and down. Now the big thing about a hammer curl, yes, you're working your biceps. However, we're going to say part of the bicep group is called the brachialis. It's a smaller muscle that comes off. And so you're working a great deal more of the brachialis in this hammer curl. So I would tell you, for most people, I don't really want to say you don't have to do this, but it would be the last thing you would do. And you'll feel this. You'll feel it right through that brachialis muscle. When you're doing your full bicep curl, you're working the long and short head and making them do most of the work, yeah? So those are all different positions that you can use those bicep curls in. At your feet, low, medium if you want, high you can do. But a bicep curl is a bicep curl. Okay, so there's variety, but you don't have to be unbelievably creative with that. You can if you want, all right? I wouldn't be standing on your head trying to do bicep curls. There's no need for it. All right, anything else I want to tell you guys? Again, certainly, always, again, just make sure it's nice and secure and it's on the hinge side. You're going to want to go out and get different gauges. So again, I would suggest getting a light gauge, a medium heavy, a heavy, and an extra heavy. Depending on the kind you get, they could run anywhere from $6 per band up to possibly, I want to say maybe $15 per band, because it's going to depend on the quality of the band, or even more so the handle, if it has cushion, if it's just the hard tubing. So you look at what you want for that, and you can go from there. All right, so today again was for building that V taper and building the muscle through the middle and the thickness of the back, and then working the biceps. So these were the pulling exercises. Your pull down, and then your pull down with your elbows in, and then your rows where you're pulling either at elbow level or your arms in abduction, and then your bicep curls and all the different ways you can do bicep curls. And then we gave you on the Swiss ball, where we're pulling down to the ball, around to our hips, and straight out. And then you reverse it and go straight out to my hips, around the ball, and up. And then I gave you that last one, shoulder extension, where it's in and you're pulling straight down, pulling straight down. That alone, you can do at home in many different varieties, is a huge workout for your biceps and your lats. And depending on where you are starting, I feel like I'm so far away, guys. I'm going to come in here. I feel like I'm so far away. So depending on where you're starting from, I would tell you, if you're new or haven't worked out for quite a while, go easy on yourself. Do 1 to 2 sets of roughly 10 to 15 with a light to moderately light weight, so that you can see how your body reacts and responds over the next day or two. You may be very surprised that you could actually have quite a bit of muscle soreness just because you haven't done any exercise in a while. So again, go easy. If you've been working out for a while, you probably know all this stuff already. So you can, depending on what cycle you're on, but let's say if you're in a hypertrophy where you're building muscle, you're going to need a heavier gauge. Depending on who you are, what that means for you, you decide. And you're going to stay roughly between really 8 to 12 reps. You could drop down to 6 if you want, but really 8 to 12 reps. And you're going to do several sets of those, 3 sets, 4 sets, maybe even up to 6 sets. Okay? And you can go from there. If you want more information on what we call acute variables, the repetitions, the weight or the tension of the tubing, how many sets to do, how long you should be resting in between your sets, that kind of stuff, then that's where you and I are going to work together, okay? Because that's a bigger process. So, but I'm more than happy to do that for you. So, just if you need help, reach out. And again, you can do that through Facebook by leaving a message below, or leave me a private message on Facebook, or you can again contact me through holistichealth-fitness.com and go to the contact page, leave me an email or call me, one or the other. Okay? So today was day 1 of lats and biceps, your pulling exercises. Day 2, tomorrow we're going to do your pushing exercises. So tomorrow we're going to do chest or pecs and triceps, the back of the arm. Okay? And then the day after that, we're going to do our unconditional joy. And I'll show you what that's like for me in the gym when I'm working.